Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Your Big Ride the Critter Guy was supposed to be in this segment. We'll save it for later on in the next hour. But we wanted to deal some more with the news that just broke. The Canucks have decided to extend Andrei Kuzmenko. We believe it's a 2-year deal, $5.5 million per, so a bridge contract that Dan Milstein talked about, hinted at yesterday when he was on our show. Lo and behold, we asked Dan to come back on the show. Dan Milstein, of course, Andrei Kuzmenko's agent.
Yep.
He joins us again. Dan, how are you, sir?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on again. Every time I look at my phone and I see the 604 area code calling, I kind of have an idea that it's you people.
You know you're in trouble. Why does this deal make sense for your client, Dan?
Well, Andrei has played under 50 games, for 43 games in the National Hockey League, and this is a good 2-year bridge deal so that we have 2 years to see how well he progresses, so that at the age of 29 we could hit the free agency and hopefully we sign with Vancouver for 7 or 8 more years.
Hey, Dan, talk about when talks started. I believe they started in your hometown of Miami, and how they got to here. Because I heard the deal just got done 20 minutes ago, like literally. He hasn't even signed the contract yet. But just break down how you started the talks and how it got done this morning.
So we obviously been talking on and off, and we always knew that sometime in January we would get together and start talking about the deal. Vancouver was playing in Florida. The management flew in a couple of days earlier for their mid-season meetings, and we got together in sunny Miami, and we spent about 6 or so hours together talking about different things. One of them was Andrei Kuzmenko. We also discussed some other free agents and upcoming draft and many other things. And so at that meeting, give or take, we have decided that the best was to concentrate on a 2-year extension, a bridge deal, if you will. And so over the next week and a half, 2 weeks or so, we have worked diligently, basically taken, every day speaking a couple times. And we finally got it done about a little bit earlier today.
How much does Andrei love Vancouver? You mentioned to me and as well as Don yesterday that he loves the city. He's only been here a few months. It's not like he's been here a year or two, Dan, but how is he acclimatized to the city of Vancouver?
Well, he absolutely loves it. May I remind you that he could have signed virtually with every single NHL team contract last summer when we made our visits in June. And he selected Vancouver. He absolutely loved the city, and he liked the vision. He liked the team, most importantly, the fans. And he's been extremely happy ever since. Of course, he'd like to win more games, but other than that, he loved everything about it, and he feels good about the vision and where the team is headed. I know some of you fans may or may not agree with him, but bottom line, you guys should be extremely excited for what's to come in the future. And so Andrei never considered hitting the free agency or looking elsewhere for another opportunity, even if more money was offered in the summer. I was under a very clear direction to get the deal done, and so that's what we did.
Hey, Dan, can you tell us what that vision is when it comes to the Canucks? Do you have any idea? Because nobody here does.
Well, how about this? I don't work for the team. I can't speak on their behalf, but and I know you guys would love for me to trash talk people, but I just don't do that. I'll leave it up to you and your fans to do that. But from my end, I feel comfortable. I mean, look, the management is the people in charge are the very same people that have helped Pittsburgh Penguins to win back-to-back championships.
There you go.
And so, they have the experience. They'll get this thing done. I have no doubt in my mind that you guys have the right people working for the team right now, and I sure hope to celebrate the Stanley Cup with y'all at some point in time in the future.
Man, you answered that question well. You're way too smart. You can't come on the show anymore. That's it. This is your last visit.
You know what? I'll hold you to that. Don't ever text me again. How
No,
about that?
no, we need you. And like I said yesterday, you're a regular. What will we do without you? Dan, thanks so much. Short notice, 2 days in a row. We'll call you tomorrow. Thanks, Dan. I'm just kidding about
Thanks,
that.
guys. Bye.
Thanks, Dan Milstein, NHL agent, part of the Gold Star group. Again, Andrei Kuzmenko signs a 2-year contract extension with the Vancouver Canucks, $5.5 million per. No shortage of people. And again, when I say this, it means we have so many submissions. I don't want to single out one.
Oh, my goodness.
But Delaney's okay, Tyron Langley inbox. No people, no shortage of people
exploding.
Saying, well, come on, this is somebody we could have turned into assets for the future, draft picks and prospects. No one has any complaints with the way Andrei Kuzmenko has burst onto the scene in the National Hockey League and in the city of Vancouver. He seemed loved by his teammates, the fans, arguably in a strange way, a different way, the best interview on the team, just full of life, productive on the ice, but no shortage of people who would have liked to see the Canucks turn that player into assets for the future.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Don, and I get it. But it's
not just me.
I know, it's everybody, Don. But this management group is telling you over and over again, we're not doing the rebuild. We're trying to fix this, and in 2 or 3 years, it's going to be a good hockey club. That's basically, got to read the tea leaves. They're not showing you any signs but they're going to do that with Bo now. They better go out and get some good picks and prospects for Bo. But here's the thing about Bo. They're asking for good players in return, too, in the package. They're asking for good players as well.
Here's another take. Delaney's okay, Tyron Langley inbox. It's Ella and Coquitlam. Is it just me? Oh, it's not an is it just me. It's just was Pedersen brought up in convincing Kuzmenko to sign? And we speculated on this yesterday. Elias Pettersson and Andrei Kuzmenko clearly have a strong on-ice connection, and it's resulted in a very good first season for Kuzmenko. Obviously, Elias Pettersson likes playing with him. Of all the negatives we've seen this season with the Canucks, one definite positive is the combination of those two. Elias Pettersson, how much longer is he for Vancouver? And he's arguably their best player. You want to keep that guy happy. At the same time, I get you want to change things. There are other ways you could do that, and one way is to unload Bo Horvat for futures.
I do want to say one thing. Everyone talks about Kuzmenko and Pettersson, but a lot of games this year he didn't play with Pettersson. In fact, Bruce Boudreau's last week, Kuzmenko was on a line with Sheldon Dries. He produces on every line he's on, but I do get the chemistry. He's got great hockey sense. He thinks the game the way Pettersson does, so he can play with him. But I will say, he does play with Dries and other line mates as well this year, and he does quite well. So he can play anywhere up and down the lineup.
12 teams, Rick, that he can't be traded to in the
12
contract.
12-team, no trade list for Kuzmenko.
I will say this. This is all due respect to Kuzmenko and Milstein. This isn't in line with what I would like to see if, I'm a Canuck fan, and I have been since 1970. I would still like to see a rebuild. But it's hard to argue with his production. There's other ways they could do that. That's, one of the dominoes has tipped over. Get futures for some of these other assets, buy people out, do something to build for your future.
But here's the other thing for you. If he's playing this well and they trade him, no other Russian's going to sign in Vancouver again like this, because they're going to say, hold it a second, what'd you guys do to Kuzmenko? You brought him in, he was lighting it up, and then you traded him for picks and prospects. So it makes recruiting tougher down the road, too, as well.
Yep. One of the very few free agent signings that's really worked out. Again, it's only, it's not even a full season. That's really worked out for the Canucks.
Yeah, and he's been great. His personality's great. People love him. The fans love him. Donnie, the media loves him. His hairdo there is just all over the map. It's.
I'm not going to knock anybody's hair.
No, it's a great hairdo.